Hi, everybody. Happy Marketing Monday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you can hear us. I hope you can see us. Happy Marketing Monday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Deborah Dixon-Anderson here from Light of Gold PR. We haven't streamed a Marketing Monday in a little bit. So we typically host this every other Monday, but it's been a minute. Happy New Year to everybody. Let's strive for more in 2024. I'm excited. I'm ready to soar 2024. Anything that rhymes is positive. I'm going with for this year. So, a little bit about Light of Gold PR. We've been around for 17 years, almost 18 years, specializing in press, media, marketing, planning, strategy, consulting. And we do a lot of events. A lot of events. We use a lot of digital and social media. And I'm so excited to have as our guest my wonderful event partner, Athenia Rodney from Juneteenth NYC. Welcome, Athenia.
Hello, hello, welcome. Thank you for
Yes,
having me,
yes,
Deborah.
yes, of course. Always love having you. So our topic for today is Black History Month. Athenia and I are partnering on a wonderful Black History Month experience event that will be held in Brooklyn on Saturday, February 24th, right? I think it's
Yes,
February 24th. So it's coming up really soon. We have vendor opportunities. You can come and attend. It's a lot of things going on. So we'll share some more about that with you momentarily. We're super excited about it, and it will be held at the Flatbush Caribbean Marketplace. It's a long name, but I love it. It's beautiful. It's a
it,
beautiful, beautiful space. We're excited to be partnering with them as a venue partner. We will be hosting our Black History Month experience event there. So you definitely want to sign up for it. So our topic for today is about Black History Month and celebrating Black excellence and advocating for change. It's just so important to celebrate Black History Month. I think, especially at a time when so much of our history is threatened and with being erased. So, um, dive in whenever, however you want to, Athenia. I just think it's just such an important topic, especially with the events that we're curating together, right?
definitely. So just talk about what you have shared. One of the reasons why we've been pushing this year to connect with so many business owners and to get them, especially Black business owners, or the new terminology, BIPOC, right? Black Indigenous
BIPOC,
people.
yes. I know I
Um,
can't keep track of all the names. I'm trying, but
it
it's a
is.
lot.
It's difficult. It is. It is. It definitely is. But
Yeah.
definitely trying to connect in those spaces um, where um, where we have last year when affirmative action listen that went out to about the schools not being able to allow, have affirmative action as a tool to bring students into the schools any longer. Everyone was kind of like, oh, how does this affect me? This is not relevant. And I was holding a number of sessions to talk about it is very relevant to us because this is the first of
Mhm.
many. And we don't think about how we are, how things are happening around us. Trump was in office and he put people in place to make changes in spaces. And even though he's no longer in office, those changes and those things are still being enacted and they're still being enforced. And we are in a space, hey, Asha, where we're not knowing like how it's going to affect us. But now we're seeing, right? And this is,
Yeah.
4 years
Yeah.
later after he's
Oh,
already
yeah. Yeah.
out of office that we're
Yeah.
starting to
It's
see.
still happening. It's
So
still,
this
hey,
is the
yeah.
schools.
It's
So
the
now it's
schools.
like, what
Yes.
happens? All of these positions after Black Lives Matter came up, right?
Yep. Yep.
For institutional diversity and all of these Fortune 500 companies need to have these departments, and then you
Hmm.
start seeing a lot of them get laid off in their
Yeah.
positions.
They're all getting laid off, and it's very, very sad. It's heartbreaking. And I know we try not to get political, but it's hard not to,
Mhm.
right? It's
It
hard not to
is.
get political because at the end of the day, Black history is still important. It's still
Mhm.
important to know our history, history. It's important for us. It doesn't even matter how old you are anymore. I'm really more concerned about schools and kids and children because, when I was growing up, we always talked about Black history. It was
Yeah,
never something that we couldn't talk about. It wasn't something that, people who weren't Black felt uncomfortable with, and we had to kind of watch what we said. The history is the history,
it
right?
is.
It is what it is.
It is.
We can't change what happened, but we could try to do better. And for those of you, and look, I'm just going to put it out there. If people don't think that there are biases that exist today, whether it's sexual biases, whether racial, it's real. All you got to do is travel around, and whether it's a Black body or a female and Black body, but it's real. It is happening.
It is.
I've definitely been a victim of it. And as we move around in this world, it is real. The biases are happening. We need to know our history. It's really, really important, especially for our young kids. And you know what? Think about
And
it.
for
If
our
you don't
adults, not
know,
just the young kids, for
it's
us
not
too.
even just happening to us. We need, look, I can't even tell you how many grown folks don't know how many things our Black inventors have created. They don't, I always have to be reminded about it. I always want to hear about our history because sometimes we need to be all the spaces that we travel in, how busy it is in our lives today. We even forget. So
Yeah,
it's important for us to always be mindful that Black history is important. There are racial and social inequities. Yes, they do exist. We cannot keep pretending that the struggles aren't real because they are. They are real. They are happening. They are here. And it's so important for our young people to hear about our achievements, things that
yeah,
we've accomplished. We need to empower our young people, especially Black youth, to pursue their own creative aspirations. They need to see themselves represented, reflected in society. We need to see
yeah.
ourselves reflected, right? It's hard. It's hard, but
It
it's
is.
real. It's happening.
It definitely is. This weekend we went to a award celebration for my son, and we were in Stone Mountain. And one of the things that the person said was, it was only 15, maybe 20 years ago that we were not, or maybe 30 years ago, that we were not able to be Black and to be in Stone Mountain. Like Stone Mountain
Yes,
was just for the Ku
yes,
Klux Klan. Like if
yes.
you go up on the mountain, it
Hmm.
has a Ku Klux Klan on a horse, and
Yes,
so
it does.
just
Yeah,
learning about that. And it's like, yeah, if we don't know, how can we teach our children? So
yeah,
just creating
yeah,
opportunities for us to be in spaces where we're able to learn, and to move things forward, because it's not just about, okay, once we learn all of this information, I'm always like, okay, what's next? Like, I don't
yeah.
want us to be stuck in
No,
that
right,
space
right.
of
We
like,
don't
oh, they
stop.
did this to us, this is what happened. And it's like, yeah, this happened, but what do we
Mhm.
do now?
What do we
How
do?
do we move forward?
Exactly.
What are we putting in
Exactly.
place? How are we making
Yeah.
sure it doesn't happen again?
Right. How do we make sure it doesn't happen again? And how do we drive the point home that Black history is American history?
Yeah,
Everybody needs to know about it, not just
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Just everybody needs to know because it is part of American history. And a
Mhm.
lot of the horrible things that happened, how do we keep it from repeating
Mhm.
itself? Because if we don't know about it, if we cover it up and push it away and act like it didn't happen, it is doomed to be repeated. There's
Yeah,
just no doubt in my mind that it could be repeated again. Because let me tell you, that playbook that's in play today, uh, from a
we
political
just on a rhyme,
standpoint,
is
it's a playbook that is going to keep getting used over and over again. And sadly, it's used in
yeah,
corporations, it's used all across our community. It's a playbook that's been in play. And you know what? It doesn't even matter what part of the country you live. I could be in a room with a lot of people of color, particularly of African American descent, and we could be talking about one experience that we had, but we all can relate to it. And we're all from all across the country, all across the world. We have had similar experiences with microaggressions, getting passed over for jobs and opportunities, being excluded, being in a room where we're bringing up all these fabulous ideas and contributing, and somebody else gets the credit for it, right? I
Right.
mean, don't I know this happened? It's happened to me. I've talked to lots of people that it's happened before, and that's sometimes how a lot of people become entrepreneurs. Is
Yeah.
because they feel like they're being overlooked when they work in organizations and companies and corporations and everything. And I'm just going to put this out there. My husband is retired now. He worked for the railroad. He got pushed up the ranks. Dual engineer. So he's
Mm.
a smart guy. But what we notice is how many times he applied for different positions that he was either very qualified for or overqualified for, and he would
It is.
just he wouldn't get it. He was well liked, so he would be able to go to different organizations, and he had friends in high places, and those friends would look out for him, and I'm thankful for that. But then I would always remind him, I said, I know that you feel discriminated against, I know that you feel a bias, but I want you to look around you, because there are no women in that space.
Yeah.
So you're being discriminated against. Guess what? There's
It's
that
even
extra
more.
layer.
Right.
There's no women in that space. So, for those of us who are women, we are dealing with, you know, those biases, horrible microaggressions that
Hmm.
are just typical today. It's just very sad. I've never seen some of the microaggressions that I've seen today in my lifetime happen before. It's just gotten deeper and on a higher level. But I wanted to say that even for him being passed over, he still had a stellar career. And one thing
Hmm.
he always tell me, he said, I've been made the prince, but I've never been made the king. So he's
Mm.
been like assistant superintendent, even though he was overqualified.
To
He's
be
been
the.
made, he's
Yeah.
been he's done well, but not as good as he could have done
Yeah.
if he was
Mhm.
not a man of color. If he was
Yeah.
not African. I'm just going to say that for what it is. I
Yeah.
know this to be true.
Yeah. And I
I've
mean,
had
you took
at
you
this.
talked about that part. The other part I would also add to it is the glass ceiling, like not,
Oh
feeling
yeah.
like people not having enough room or room to you like you said, you can get this high. You can be the
Yeah.
assistant,
And that's as far as you
assistant.
could go.
That's as far
That's
as you can
it.
go because
That's the
that next
ceiling.
level,
Hmm.
now
Yeah.
it becomes hard to obtain, or is it
Yes.
necessary, or if you do get it,
Right.
I mean, we prime example at the college. Oh my gosh, what's the college that with the president, the black president that just had to resign,
Yeah.
like she was forced to resign.
Harvard.
Yeah,
I
from
think
Harvard.
wasn't that at Harvard? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so you got
crazy.
that happens, and it's like, yeah, okay, she went to the top, and then it was like, okay, they made it so difficult for her to want to be there that she was like,
Hmm.
I can't do this, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
Rice Global Enterprise here on Instagram, and he said, yes, we must educate ourselves and our kids.
Yes.
Continuous learning
Absolutely.
is what's needed. Hi, Miki Sen. We got a number of people.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you for chiming in, everybody, on our convo that we're having here. We just feel like it's critical and it's important and should be happening. The other thing to look at is when we get discriminated against, we're getting discriminated against when as you get older. Discrimination is real. When you
Yeah,
become a certain age, it's something that is real. And
no, it
so
is.
here's the thing: we get kicked out of certain areas. You might have had a stellar career, then all of a sudden you get passed over
Mhm.
again. You still have something valuable to offer, but now you're this is an extra layer of another bias
Mhm.
that keeps happening, as we go along, and so many of us just get sick and tired of it. Just
Mhm.
after a while, you just get tired of it. You decide to take another path. I've seen corporations now where there are so many women who have left certain industries to start their own firms. Now they're competing against the same, companies that they work for, because they just didn't have a place there.
Mhm.
They wanted to move into these different spaces, but they weren't allowed to, whether it's women or whether it's men. And, so many people, we hear it all the time, they hang in there for that pension check, right? They don't want to leave. They've been passed over and they've dealt with things for 20, 30 years sometimes. And then they're afraid to leave because it's like, well, what am I going to do?
Right. What's somebody going to
I
do?
need to stay in there to get this check. And so that happens too a lot, sadly. And then
Until people get pushed out. And
they get pushed
right
out.
now, especially since we're going through, we're still in this kind of recession or borderline recession is what they keep calling it. It's like we're not exactly
Yes.
in a recession, but we're in this borderline recession. But I feel like we're getting to the pushover point because people are still losing their jobs, especially those who have been in positions for long periods of times. And, more people are being forced into entrepreneurship and they don't really know what to do. People have had ideas in their mind of things that they always wanted to do, but because they put so much time and effort into the company that they were working for, they did not step out to explore the options of what it looks like. So now they're in this space of starting from the very beginning and trying to figure it out. And we have Asha. She's on LinkedIn. She says, "Are we lifting as we climb, as other communities do?" And you're very right. A lot of times we're not lifting as we climb. There are a lot of spaces where we are still this mentality of the crabs in the barrel. And I'm very much against it. From the very beginning, I think when I started my balloon business, it was a crabs in the barrel kind of situation. And I went to, this famous balloon store. Everybody would go there. And I was like, oh, I got my first big job. I'm going to be doing this huge balloon arch in Harlem. It's with a corporate contract. And I was like, but I don't know what to do. Like, give me some tips. And, I'm researching and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've been doing stuff like that for 20 years. I'm like, okay, so give me some tips. He was like, give me the job because you're not going to do it well. And I was just like, you know what? Thank you very much. Just because you said that, I'm going to push to do it and I'm going to do it great. And I did. And ever since that moment, I've always been paying it forward. Anytime someone is asking me a question on how to do something, whether it be for business or a particular area or genre that I've been a part of, I'm like, come, let me teach you. Event planners. I went to an event planner conference constantly. They actually had the conference this weekend and I didn't get to go, but they were doing, they were bringing event planners together because it's like we have to work in a space of working together over competition, because if we are competing with each other and I need a job, especially with all these corporate contracts that we get, that's a lot of us are going for. It's like, I need another event planner who knows the background, who knows what to do to support and to come in and to help. So there's no competition. It's only collaboration in this.
Yeah, it's only collaboration. I think that's a good point that you brought up too, Athenia, is the competition part, because it is about collaboration and not competition. There's so many different areas that we can support and help each other, but that's another hurdle that a lot of our people have to deal with is, being burnt, trying to partner with other people and being burnt because, we go after these opportunities with an open heart and an open spirit. And then, next thing you either are in a situation where you're competing with someone that you brought on board and all of this. I've, been through that also. So having the proper agreements and having a conversation and having the proper contracts are really important, to have those things in place. We're grown folks, right? We just need to have those things in place. But it doesn't mean that we can't partner. Now, you can't partner with everybody. You can't work with everybody. That is true. But at the end of the day, there are going to be those people that are like-minded. You are totally on the same path, the same page, and you can partner with them. So, making sure that you have the proper things in place. Oh gosh, yeah, it's difficult to find mentorship in high-paid areas. That's Asha. Yeah, that can be true. You can find it, but it's at a price. It's not cheap. Belonging to certain organizations, you can find mentors a lot of times in those places, but you got to pay the price of admission. to go to.
Mhm.
It's just, I mean, I'm just saying, you can find it. You might have to dig a little bit deeper, but the organizations that do exist where the mentors are at a higher, like 6-figure level or wherever, whatever level you're talking about, those are, it's like you have to belong to certain organizations to get to those
Mhm.
places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they say, I mean, the old boys club or old girls club, and that's where, certain organizations, like Jack and Jill organization, or the even Mocha Moms, like the organizations like that have been helping us, the people who are trying to get into this upper echelon of the Black
Mhm.
world, to kind of get together. So I have a couple of comments. So Miki's Den said definitely a hurdle. She's like, I guess she was referring to the challenges we were talking about. And then, Rice Global Enterprises, Janelle. Hey, Janelle. She says, I always share resources, but the old saying, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make
Mm.
him drink.
Oh
Mindset shift.
yeah.
And you're
Yes.
right about that as well.
Yes. That
That's
is
the.
very true. And you know what? The way I've decided to look at when I want to uplift and help and everything, because you're absolutely right. You can't make the horse drink, right? But at the end of the day, there's going to be some people that you do help, that do get it, that do receive it.
Mhm.
That's who I'm here for. I'm
Yeah.
here for those folks because you can't, everybody's not in the same place. I don't know if you got to be burnt like 10 more times before you feel it, before you get the message. But those who are ready to receive it will receive it. And that's a good thing. So
Mhm.
it's almost like your job has been done a little bit. When I put information out there, I want to support. I realize now, as I've gotten older, that there will not be, everybody won't be able to receive it. And I have to be okay with that. I
Right.
have to be okay with that. I think that can be the hardest thing when you've been through some things and you have something to share, but then there's people who aren't in the place to receive it,
To
or
receive it.
maybe they're looking at you from the standpoint of, how do you know that? Or you know what I'm saying? Now they're like questioning you, or that's not been my experience, and so it's okay. I already realized I've mentored a lot of young people, and I've gotten to the point, the ones that receive it, that I'm still in contact with them, and we're in a wonderful place. I'm always going to be there for them. But then there's going to be those folks who, look, I know what I know, I don't believe you, and they could keep it moving. It is perfectly okay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, you hit on something, and then Miki's then also on Instagram said something. She said, I've also partnered and done all the work only to have said party take all the credit. So I'm very cautious. And like you said, that kind of goes back to the idea of making sure that you are vetting who you're working with, understanding like their, what are their morals and values, like what are the things, like hearing, people always talk about, oh, the writing was always on the wall, but you never paid attention to it. And it's like when y'all are in that courting space, like
Hmm.
really look at all of the things that are going on. And, I know we're always in a space of, oh, best intentions. But it's like, what are, if you see somebody doing it to somebody else, 9 times out of 10, they will do it to you. It's like, if a tiger will always be a tiger. A lion will always be a lion. You can,
Hmm.
domesticate it, or
That's right.
you can try to domesticate it as all you want, but at one time, at one point, it's gonna come back to bite you. Um,
Hmm.
I was just
Yeah.
saying, can't ask to go for coffee anymore. Very true. I did want to share
Ooh,
just
yeah.
about the topic where we're talking about celebrating Black excellence and advocating for change, and some of the things that we've been doing lately, and how we kind of got into this whole conversation. Because I think this was Friday, Thursday, something like that. We were just talking about all of the things that we've been seeing happening in the world, and how we want to give people different opportunities. So even sponsoring or participating in local Black History Month events. And like we were saying,
Mhm.
we're trying to get us out of the idea that Black history is the only time that we get to do that. And now,
Yes.
we're
Yes.
getting more we're expanding, and we're getting more holidays, so to speak, right? With Juneteenth, like us, or Kwanzaa in December. So now we got February, we got a little bit of June, because it's also Pride Month. So we kind of get, covered
Yeah.
up in.
Yeah.
We got Kwanzaa, which is in December, but it's also like Christmas,
Hmm.
New
Yeah.
Year's, Hanukkah, everything is kind of wrapped in one. So it's definitely, the fight, but there are more
Hmm.
spaces where we have opportunities to highlight what Black businesses are doing, what Black
Hmm.
organizations are doing,
Right.
and offering opportunities for large corporations to sponsor those
Hmm.
businesses, to show like this is what we value. We value your contributions to this world.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited about our Black History Month experience, but even what we've curated together, Athenia, with Kwanzaa and now with Black History Month. And then, of course, Juneteenth has been your signature event. I'm excited that I've gotten a chance to work with you on that. Now, after Black History Month is Women's History Month, and Light of Gold PR produces a Gold Women's Business Conference that we've been doing for the past really for 10 years, 10 plus
Yeah,
years. So that's coming up. So we pretty much have
it's in
something
March
every month. We
going
have
on
our
to
speed
June.
networking events coming up. We have events coming up all the time. And then it's just so many opportunities to partner with us, to work with us. Boy, I didn't expect to see all these messages and comments. I mean, this is a hot topic. We might have to do this again. I'm looking at all these comments. I don't remember seeing this many before, but this is definitely a hot topic. It's an important topic, and we
It
just
is.
want to let you know that for both Athenia's, both of our organizations, we're event partners. We've known each other for 14 years now, and I
Yes,
count that
yep.
based on how
Oh,
old.
my baby.
Yeah, because Athenia
I
was
was pregnant.
large with child when I first met her, and so we go back about 14 years. So it's really exciting for us to be working together. But we want you to know that there are so many layers of ways that you can work with us. As we put together and curate these events. Whether you want to attend the event, whether you want to be a vendor or a sponsor, we're always looking for those opportunities. Whether you want to be a guest on a Juneteenth lunch and learn, or Marketing Monday, or Wellness Wednesday. My husband Rick and I are going to be back on again for Wellness Wednesday as we talk about
Yay.
our weight loss challenge, because we've been married 10 years in
Awesome.
September. So he has a 60-pound weight loss goal. I have a 40 pounds. It's 100 pounds lost after 10 years. 10 years. Okay. So it's a theme attached to it. And we both already have lost weight. We feel so much better. So we just want to share a little bit of the tips of what we've done just to remain healthy and how much better we feel now, just watching what we eat and everything. But we always have these opportunities, whether you want to be a guest, whether you want to be a vendor partner, a sponsor partner, for any of our events. We definitely want you to reach out to us and keep us in mind. So, on our Light of Gold PR upcoming events link, we do have information about the Black History Month experience on February 24th. So we're running a special on for half price for our vendor booths. They're only
Yes.
$199, so you need to go ahead and hop on that. There's a promo code that you could use. I think it's BHME 2024, but you'll see it when you go to the link. So definitely go there and go ahead and sign up. It's going to be at a beautiful venue, the Flatbush Caribbean Marketplace, right on Canton Street. In is that in Flatbush, right?
Yes, that's
Athenia in the
Flatbush.
Flatbush
That's
area. So you want to be there. Then I'm trying to lock down our next venue in March, and it looks like it's 98%. I could give you, it'll be in Harlem. So that's all I could tell you right now. But we're locking down that space today. And so we just have a lot of really good stuff coming up, and we're so excited. Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. I just want to give some shout outs to Miss Black New York USA, Couture Finds, I am Raven J, who joined us, Elksum, Marcus Morales, thank you for joining us, Carib, Carib, God Designs, and it was somebody's, and Nylona won. So thank you. We have a lot of people
Thank
who joined
you.
us on Instagram.
Thank
So
you so much for joining us and for being here. We try to do Marketing Monday every 2 weeks. We have a little bit to catch up on, so we might be doing a little bit more often.
often.
So definitely follow us both on Light of Gold PR and on Juneteenth NY. You can find us on everything social media. We're definitely there. So just go ahead and follow us, and you'll be able to see what we have coming up, because we always try to post it. We always try to tag each other. Our website, lightofgoldpr.com, and then it's juneteenthny.com. Make sure you go to our websites, sign up. We just are excited, about 2024. We're soaring. 2024,
Indeed.
going for more. So thank
Indeed.
you so much for watching, and definitely we'll see you soon.
Have a good one.
Have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.